Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're absolutely addicted to the game of basketball like I am, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below and put that post notification bell on. And if you enjoy this video, why not smash that like button? Thank you guys so much for 200 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. This channel would not be possible without you guys. And today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite storylines in the NBA. It's a feel-good story, and that man's name is Bol Bol, the son of 7'7" center Manute Bol that played for the Bulls back in the day, played for some other franchises, and obviously I was not able to watch Manute Bol, but he was one of the best sequences in NBA history when he went on to block a guy like 4 times in a row. Just like, it was ridiculous watching him play. You saw his form as well when he shot it behind his head. If you go back and watch the highlights, rest in peace to Manute Bol. He just made a statement when it came to the league with his height, and I'm sure he was a lot of fun to watch. Yes, he wasn't an all-star, but it's still awesome. I wish he went on to see his son get drafted and see the success of Bol Bol, because if you did not know, Bol Bol was a 5-star player coming out of high school. He went on to commit to Oregon. He went to Oregon, played very good there. He was just a freak of nature. He's over 7 foot. He could shoot the three ball. He could put it on the floor. He could block shots. He was literally the next unicorn they were labeling him as when unicorn was being thrown around like crazy during that time. You could say it still is, but this is like right after Porzingis was given that nickname by Kevin Durant, like when Kristaps Porzingis was with the Knicks. So he balls out at Oregon, but he also has this injury at Oregon. But before that injury, he was a lock to be like in the lottery, a tall guy that could shoot threes and defend the inside. But the big time concern with him is, yes, he's 7'1" or 7'2", whatever you want to label him. Like different, like literally when he came in the league, like they measure people differently now. They used to measure them with shoes, now they measure them without shoes. It's weird how it goes on to how they go on to measure these guys, but he's still a 7-footer at the end of the day. And there's concerns when it comes to the injuries and also his frame, because yes, despite him being very tall, he has a thin frame, and there hasn't been a very good history of that frame really holding up in the NBA consistently. That's why there's still kind of a concern with me when it comes to Victor Wembanyama. He's very talented, but how is that frame going to hold up? So he ends up slipping big time. I believe he ended up slipping to like the second round, and the Miami Heat drafted him, but he went on to be traded to the Denver Nuggets on draft night, and he didn't really get a lot of playing time with the Denver Nuggets, but I also thought it was a perfect situation for him. It gives him time to recover from an injury. He goes to a win now mode organization, so he's going to form some winning habits, and there's no rush to play him right away. I'm like, okay, this is nice. He's kind of a project. He still probably needs to adjust when it comes to certain personnel, keeping up with certain guys on the defense side of basketball. We see some action with him when it comes to the NBA bubble, but it pretty much did not work out in Denver. And then there was reports coming out that he has attitude problems, is his head always really in the game, that type of thing. And he went on to be traded to the Detroit Pistons, but then a whole thing went on when it came to his physical, so that didn't go through. He ends up with the Orlando Magic, so he didn't end up playing a game for the Detroit Pistons. Now he's on the Orlando Magic. But this season, a lot of things have, God has paved a great, God's been blessing him this season for sure. When you just take a look at it, even though it sucks for these other players, because you look at Jonathan Isaac continues to be out with an injury. You look at Mo Wagner, he continues to be out with an injury. Markelle Fultz got hurt this season. So Bol Bol, obviously Markelle Fultz doesn't play his position, but Bol Bol has the capability of playing that four as well for the Orlando Magic. So I was like, all right, maybe he's going to get some time. This is a young group. They're probably going to give him somewhat of an opportunity because, this is a young basketball team. They're not expecting them to win tons of games. They're just probably trying to figure it out towards the end of the season, just try to form winning habits. You just had the first overall pick in the draft. You shouldn't be expecting playoffs, even though Paolo Banchero's been very good, damn good. You have Franz Wagner over there as well. And he's played 10 games, obviously, this season. He's started 5 of them, and I feel like where it all started, definitely for him to get his opportunity and a big-time start, is there was a game because Markelle Fultz has obviously been out so far this season due to a fractured toe, but there was a game Markelle Fultz was out, Jalen Suggs was out, and Cole Anthony was out. So they're like, all right, we really have no answer at point guard. They didn't even go on to start R.J. Hampton, because I feel like R.J. Hampton's honestly just not that good. He's a good defensive player, and he's a damn athletic player, but he's no touch and not great feel out there. He even looked lost in the summer league when I watched him in the summer league. So if you look at the starting lineup, they actually listed him as the point guard out there. Did he continuously bring the ball up the floor when it came to inbounds? No. Terrence Ross sometimes brought it up the floor. Franz Wagner has pretty underrated playmaking ability, his ability to read the floor, but he has not looked back. There was concerns with him when it came to keeping up with certain personnel. Sometimes there is moments that he struggles to keep up with quicker guys. But you see the recovery with him with this ridiculously long wingspan that he's been able to block shots with ease. And and it just looks like his head's in the game. It doesn't look like he's just playing basketball for money. It doesn't look like he's just playing basketball because he's tall. The talent is truly there, and you could tell he's refined some of that talent. And it's just so crazy. I know, like, I really do think it's just been him maturing throughout his career, because when you watch him out there on the basketball floor, the talent's just obvious. Like, we knew that since Oregon. I feel like he's just matured, and we have to give credit to Bol Bol, because even with injuries, if his attitude was that bad, maybe they would have picked up someone from free agency to play. Because in my opinion, in the NBA, it's a professional league. You don't just play a guy that doesn't deserve to play at all. So I do think there's some maturity when it comes to him playing in the National Basketball Association. And the most special thing about him, sometimes he does a little too much, resulting in turnovers. But after a miss, it's just so crazy. He skies high for a rebound, long ass wingspan, his head's above the rim, comes down with it, just brings it up the floor so casually, you know? The fluidity, just how he's just so agile out there on the floor. He'll do that gather step, cover so much ground, lay it up and in, or dunk, and I'm like, that's just freaking ridiculous. You should not be able to do that. Or last night versus the Sacramento Kings, when he put it behind his back versus Domantas Sabonis and just splashed a three. But yeah, sometimes I do think he dribbles up the ball a little too much. I'm like, just give it up in that situation, because he has shown that his handle, like when he gets low to the ground, like his handle can be very, very solid, but then sometimes it is sloppy. But it's hard to get low to the ground when you're literally over 7 foot. But he just moves so smooth, he moves so fluid, and I know his motor's there now, and it looks like he truly loves the game. Because like you see him follow misses, you see him constantly like cutting, and he's just an alley-oop threat due to that ridiculously long wingspan. He's even rebounding the ball very well, so he's definitely taking advantage. He's shooting 37% from three. It's only on like one attempt, but it's going down, which you like to see, and the efficiency's there. He's shooting over 70% from the field, at least as a starter. I'm going to be diving into the points and all that, but it's just so awesome watching Bol Bol play, watching him thrive, because he had all this hype coming out of high school, but then the adversity that came his way with the injuries, then the reports coming out. Does he truly love the game? Is his head always in the game? Does he have an attitude problem? That type of thing. So it's really awesome seeing him thrive, and you just see the long strides. Like, the one concern though I do have with him is like, how will he be able to hold up throughout the season? Like, is he going to be able to stay healthy? And when he faces different types of personnel as well, like, are they eventually going to adjust to his tape and be a lot more physical with him? Because there's times I'm like, all right, he had an opportunity to bully him and he really didn't, but it's like his frame, is it going to hold up? And there's moments that he is lost, like he's kind of lost when it comes to his defensive positioning. But again, his long wingspan does help. He's knocking down his free throws. He's getting there like a decent amount of times per game. But when you just take a look at Bol Bol's stats, like, just, again, these runners he's knocking down are ridiculous. Like, when he just, like, he has the ball, he puts it on the floor, he gathers, and then just has a ridiculous runner, because it's, like, ridiculous. It's, like, impossible to guard. But so far, through he's played 10 games so far this season. He has started 5 of them. He's averaging 13.4 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 75% from the field, 37.5% from 3 on 1.6 attempts, and 90.9% from the free throw line in 28 minutes per game. But I like that he's been pretty disciplined, in my opinion, when I'm watching him play. Like, sometimes he does, like, again, sometimes he does too much with the basketball when he shouldn't, and turns the ball over, and sometimes he's kind of lazy setting a screen, which could result in an offensive foul. Like, he still has ways to go sometimes when it comes to the little details and the fundamentals of the game, and I really do believe that was one of the reasons the Nuggets didn't play him, and also the Nuggets were just trying to win. You know, there's moments that Malone does put young guys out there, but I don't think he just didn't play him for no reason at all. Like, Bol Bol clearly has talent, but he's still he's still pretty raw in certain departments, so I don't think he wanted to mess around that much, especially when you have Nikola Jokic, you're trying to win now. And think about last season as well, or just think about it as well, like all the injuries the Nuggets suffered. I don't think they really could have took that risk. So I do think he's matured. We have to give him credit there. But yeah, when he is in the right defensive position, we've seen him be able to block shots. But the talent is there. He sometimes tries to like do these crazy, just like skip passes, or just like it doesn't always work out though. It results in turnovers. But yeah, sometimes he tries to do these swing passes. But I love that he's trying to be creative out there. There's not crazy pressure on him because he's in a small market. The Magic aren't expected to win a lot of games. I believe they have like 1 or 2 wins right now. Like it's strange. One of them came against the Warriors, but then you think about the Warriors also lost to the Hornets and Pistons. They're in a weird spot right now. But you should never judge a team through like 10 games of the season. Eventually they will get it together. I think the Warriors will get it together. But Bol Bol's been very fun to watch. He's been fluid. Looks like his head's in the game. He's getting after on both ends. The competitive nature is there. Let me know down below your thoughts on Bol Bol so far. Peace out, y'all.